kalihim ng Department of Labor and Employment, Secretary Bebot Bello.
Thank you, Secretary Harry, my friend, Secretary Art. Alam ko, hindi nyo interest ito kasi ito ay tungkol sa mga OFW natin. If you recall, may utos ang ating Pangulo noon. Starting May 25, sabi niya, meron tayong 24,000 OFWs na stranded sa iba't ibang hotels, including yung mga temporary quarantine facilities. I want them home. I want them home within 1 week. And medyo nagulantang kami doon dahil napakahirap noon, no? Kasi unang-una, we have to address yung problem of yung quarantine, testing, another testing, at hindi natin makontrol yun. Pero notwithstanding that, ay pinilit namin. At nagkaroon ako ng daily report kay Secretary Harry kung ilan everyday. At nung as early as May 29, nag-report na ako kay Secretary Harry Kakuha. Secretary, meron na kami na pauwi na 19,010 na OFWs. Meron pa akong kulang na 5,000 plus. So, sabi ko, palagay ko makakayanan namin dito. And every day thereafter, kinakabahan na ako kasi hindi pa namin as early as as late as May 30, kulang pa kami ng 3,000. Then came 31 ng gabi. Sabi sa akin, ang umaga pala, 6 o'clock in the morning of May 31, sabi, Sir, meron na tayong 23,000 plus. Sabi ko, kulang pa yan. Sir, mamaya, hintayin nyo hintayin nyo yung mga 2 to 3. May makakaway na mga bailan. At saka yung mga sinusundo na mga kamag-anak. True enough, at 4 o'clock, nag-report sa akin si Administrator Kakdak. Sabi niya, Sir, kaya yung 24,000. Sabi ko, naginawan ako. So at 11 o'clock, on the eve of May 31, dumating ang balita. Sir, 24,000 na tayo. 24,038. Pag agad-agad, pinadalan ko si Secretary Harry, pinadalan ko si Secretary Major Dea, at saka si Secretary at si Senator Bongo, just to keep them informed. So, as late as 11 o'clock, late in the evening of May 21, naabot na po namin yon. And then the following day, meron pa kami naabot. So, total, nakapauwi kami as of June 1, 25,002. 10,100 by air, 7,900 by land, and 385 lang by sea. Okay, kasi medyo mabagal yun mas mabilis yung Anyway, maliban doon, meron 6,576 OFWs na sinundo ng kanilang mga kamag-anak. Pinuntahan sila sa mga hotel, meron naman certificate from the Bureau of Quarantine na negative sila. So, pumayag na kami, pinauwi na sila. So, that records for about 6,576. A total of 25,000. Sabi ko kay Secretary, mission accomplished. Ayan. So, anyway, alam ko na this is also of great interest to many of you kasi ang dami nagtatanong, ilan ba ang ating mga OFWs affected by COVID-19? Okay, we have here a record of 343,551 OFWs affected. When it's women mean affected, either they were displaced because of COVID or merong tinamaan talaga ng COVID. Now, our record will show na doon sa 343, meron na displaced na OFWs about 341,161. Medyo serious yun. Pero ang mas serious, 2,390 ang affected by COVID-19. And then more serious, of the 2,390, 72,000 died sa ating mga kababayan. Pero meron din good news, nakarecover ang 678. And active cases, 1,640. Now, if you recall, Senator Secretary, I reported about 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago. Sinabi ko that we are expecting 42,000 OFWs being repatriated within the month of May up to the month of June. That's 42,000. Talagang big order yon. So, fortunately, we received report from our labor office abroad by our labor attaché, and they inform us, sir, sabi nila, doon sa 42,000 OFWs, ang mapapauwi lang natin ay 16,679. Why? Kasi sila lang nakakompleto ng mga papeles. Yung tinatawag nilang ICAMA or yung exit visa. Yung kanilang clearances from their employers, at saka siyempre yung ticket nila pauwi. So only 16,679 will be coming in, and some will come in already. Meron nang dumating mga around, by this time siguro lampas na ng 1,000. So ang darating lang within the month of May and June, 16,679. Kaya kahapon dun sa Interagency Task Force, nakiusap ako na kung maaari makipag-meet ako kay Secretary Tugade para sa kanyang mga sasakyan, aeroplano, barko at saka buses. Yung kuminsan kasi yung mga buses ni Secretary Tugade namimili. Kalahin mo gusto nila puro southbound. Ayaw nilang pumunta sa amin. Kasi daw yung daan papunta sa Tabaga, tagaroon din si Secretary Tugade. Rough road at saka ibang terrain, hindi kagaya sa southbound na puro patak. So, yun ang pakikiusap ko kay Secretary Tugade to provide the transportation facilities, and then sinama ko po sa invitation si Secretary Vernan of Tourism, kasi kakailanganin naman namin yung mga hotels niya, mga motels niya, mga pension houses niya, mga inns niya, kailangan namin yun para na naman doon sa 16,000 na darating. And of course, I also asked for Secretary Charlie, who is the chief implementer, to help us in the, again, yung quarantining and testing either by PCR or rapid testing. Kasi kailangan natin yan. I don't want, again, yung incident na na-stranded yung 24,000 to happen again. Nakakaano talaga. Nakakaawa yung ating mga OFWs. Talaga, hindi ko talaga masabi how I felt for them. Some of them were, in fact, somebody, a lady was calling me. Sabi ko, saan ka ba? Sabi sa akin, sir, nandito ako sa Sogo. Sabi, anong ginagawa mo dyan? Sir, dito ako nilagay. Ilang beses na ako na-swab. Palaging negative, pero hindi pa ako nauwi. Sabi ko, bakit ka hindi kinukuha? Ewan ko, sir, walang dumarating. So I called up administrator. Sabi ko, administrator, meron isang babae sa Sogo. Mag-isang buwan mahigit na siya. You better go and get her. Oh, fortunately, napunta na agad ni administrator Kakdak at naiuwi niya. So yun ang ating kuwan ngayon, ang ating trabaho. Sec Tugade, pakiusap, tulungan mo ko, pauwi na itong 16,679. Meron ka kasing suggestion Sec Tugade, na bago umalis sa point of origin, yung country of origin, sabi ni Sec, para ma-facilitate yung quarantine dito, magpa-test na sila doon. That is a suggestion from very experienced official. Siguro mas mabuti na na siya. Malaman natin later on kung ano talaga yung intention niya tungkol doon sa testing from the point of origin.
Sir, nabanggit niyo po kanina na merong over 300,000 OFWs na apektado po nitong or displaced or nawalan ng trabaho dahil po sa COVID-19. Ano na po, sir, yung magiging plano ng government for these people? Mukhang since dumadami po yung unemployed individuals natin dito sa country. And at the same time, sir, isabay ko na rin po, yung dun po sa discovery ng mga illegal Chinese health facilities, may balita na po ba tayo kung may mga nalinya po ba for deportation na involved dito sa illegal Chinese health facilities? And ano po yung ginagawa ng mga Chinese na itong doctors dito sa Pilipinas, and at the same time, yung ano po yung nature ng trabaho nung mga, kumbaga, clients nila, yung mga pumupunta po doon.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Regarding po doon sa 343,000 plus na affected by COVID-19, I mentioned to you na 341 ang displaced. In other words, they were either terminated ang trabaho nila, they are no longer employed, or they continue to be employed, kaya lang hindi sila makapasok because of the lockdown. Hindi sila makapasok, so no work, no pay. So displaced pa din sila. Ngayon, doon sa 341 na yan, magtataka kayo na only 95,000 are stranded. Sabihin nyo sa akin, what happened to the more than 100,000? I will tell you, I myself am surprised that more than almost 200,000 of them do not want to come home. Ayaw umuwi. They'd rather stay there, especially those coming from America and from Europe, Rome, Madrid, United Kingdom. Ayaw magsiuwi. So anyway, that makes our work lighter kasi we are left with only 95,000 stranded and only 42,000 to be repatriated. Kaya lang, we can only repatriate only 16,000. Now regarding po yung sa mga Chinese, alam mo, when you are caught violating the laws of the country, ang immediate action dyan is deportation. Now, when it comes to deportation po, only the Department of Justice can answer that.
Pero siguro po, dadagdagan ko lang, as far as deportation is concerned, automatic naman po yun. Kung ikaw ay isang dayuhan at nahuli na may ginagawang krimen, isang option po is yung immediate deportation, pero meron pong proseso na dapat sundin bago sila finally ma-deport. Yung declaration of being, ano ba tawag dito? Undesirable alien, no? Kung sila ay may papel o di naman kaya kung talagang illegal ay yung deportation for lacking papers to remain in the country.
You mentioned earlier na nasa 343,000 yung affected na OFWs, but the budget for the AKAP, yung subsidy natin for OFWs, is good for 150,000 only. So I understand you already asked for additional budget. Ano na po yung nangyari dun sa request natin for additional budget? Kaya po ba ng DOLE na tulungan yung 343,000 affected?
Very good question. Originally, we asked for a budgetary allocation of 1.5 billion because we estimated that there would be at least 150,000 displaced OFWs. But it turned out while we were accepting the application for cash assistance na we already received 450,000 application for cash assistance. Reason for which we asked for additional budgetary allocation. Fortunately, the President approved additional budget allocation of 1 billion. So, total of 2.5 billion ang natanggap namin. And so far, we have paid 145,000 OFWs. That amounts to about 1 billion 450 million. So meron pa kami naiiwan na 1 billion 100 million. Pero again, looking at the applications, baka kukulangin yan. So we may again be compelled to ask for additional budgetary allocation to be able to satisfy yung application ng more than 450,000. Although nabawasan na rin yun dahil nabigyan na namin yung iba. And then, hindi naman lahat yung nag-apply ay na-approve. Kasi, so far, ang approval rating is about 30 to 40% lang. So, yun po ang status. Nakapagbayad na kami ng 145,000 OFWs. And the cost would be 1 billion 450 million plus. And we are still processing the 450,000 application, hopefully to be able to pay up to the extent of another 1.1 billion without prejudice to our asking for additional allocation from the President.
Banggit niyo po before na yung mga OFWs na wala na pong trabaho dito, they will be targeted for build projects of the government. Ito po ba'y tuloy pa rin, and paano po ba yung pagpili sa OFWs? For construction workers na po ba ito? Paano po yung mga OFWs na hindi naman po kaya yung trabaho sa construction?
Secretary Bello?
Ama po yun, doon sa mga build program ni Secretary Tugade at saka ni Secretary Villar ay malaki ang opportunity para sa ating mga OFWs, lalong-lalo na yung mga skilled workers dahil magagaling na construction workers mga yan eh. So they will be well fitted for the work to do the construction work of the DPWH saka DOTR. Ngayon yung mga hindi naman ma-accommodate sa construction business, meron naman tayong livelihood project, livelihood assistance to all overseas workers na re-repatriate namin. They will not only be entitled to cash assistance of 10,000 to 20,000, 20 kung active member ka ng OWA at 10,000 kung hindi ka active member. Ngayon, kung in addition to yung financial assistance na yan, bibigyan ka ng livelihood assistance. When we say assistance, bibigyan ka ng 20,000 na ininegosyo mo, walang bayad, walang interest. Pero kung gusto mo na medyo maganda-gandang negosyo, halimbawa gusto mo mag-put up ng catering business, pwede kang umutang ng 100,000, walang interest naman yan. Okay, so in addition to that, meron kami special program sa lahat ng mga OFWs, returning OFWs, yung tinatawag naming scholarship certificate. Kapag meron kang 3 anak, yung 3 anak mo, scholar namin. Kung meron kang 10 anak, pasensya na kami, 10 anak mo rin ang scholar namin. Those are what we call the reintegration program for our overseas Filipino workers.
Dumating po galing Cayman Islands, hindi pa daw po sila nasa-swab dun sa mga facilities that they are in the Philippines. And number 3, meron po mga 400 na mga Filipinos in Korea na mag-expire na yung visa and they fear na mag-TNT kung hindi sila makabalik sa Manila. Those 3 questions, sir.
Okay. I will answer first yung last, yung tungkol sa Korea. Kaya mabuti kasi nandito si Secretary Tugade kasi kailangan ng authority ng Korean Airlines na makapunta dito. The moment we get a clearance from Secretary Tugade, then they can fly in yung mga kababayan natin. Okay?
Okay.
Yun naman sa Dubai, nagka-problema tayo dun dahil sa lockdown. Oo, walang nakakalipad pa ngayon. Pero our labor agency reported to us, but maybe in a day or 3, the 2 or 3 days, baka mabigyan na sila ng clearance na pwede nang i-allow some selective flights na i-allow nila to be able to send our OFWs back to our country.
I-report na po kayong nakuha ang DOLE na companies na di nag-comply sa joint DOLE DTI guidelines to prevent the spread of COVID-19 sa worksite. Ano po ang gagawin ng DOLE sa mga nasabing reports?
Well, very few pa ang natatanggap namin doon sa compliance with yung aming health protocol. Very few pa lang. Kasi unang-una, wala pa nakakapag-inspect. Dahil alam nyo naman, skeleton force ngayon, mga skeletal force ngayon ang ating nasa gobyerno. So, hindi pa masyadong marami ang nagko-complain. Pero yung mga nakakatanggap kami ng complaint about some companies not complying with the health protocols, then we give them the notice and then require them to comply. We give them 15 days to comply. After that, kung hindi sila mag-comply, may mga administrative penalties.
Ano pong balak ng Department of Labor sa bagong normal para sa mga manggagawa natin? What plans have you for the new normal? Thank you.
Siyempre, Melo, ang aming mandato ay protection of employment. Gusto kong emphasize yan na kasi merong misperception na ang DOLE is responsible for creating jobs. Wala po kaming ganong mandato. Our mandate is to preserve employment. Kaya marami po kaming post-COVID-19 recovery plan. And one of them would be a salary subsidy for employers. Ito para employers, hindi para employees. We will subsidize, our proposal is to subsidize our employers by 25 to 50%. Provided that they retain their employees or even increase their employees. Yun po ang number one na plano namin para ma-preserve ang employment. At the same time, strengthen yung operation ng mga businesses.
Do you think that Hong Kong's long-term prosperity and stability will benefit Filipinos in the city too?
Certainly, with at least 100,000 workers in Hong Kong, the continued prosperity of Hong Kong will mean continued employment for Filipinos, and because of our proximity, we hope that prosperity will continue and will even prosper so that there will be more opportunities for Filipinos to work and make a livelihood in Hong Kong.
Thank you.
300,000 Filipinos in Hong Kong. And just for your information, sir, not a
Okay,
single
thank you.
OFW is asking us to bring them home. They are safe there.
There are many companies who are downsizing their staff as part of cost-cutting measures. Some are closing some of their branches. Hindi na po ito maliliit na kumpanya. May mga bangko daw po at car dealership. Maliban pa sa estimated 300,000 OFWs na pabalik ng bansa dahil wala ng trabaho sa ibang bansa. Ano po ba and in the long term ang magiging impact nito sa ating bansa at paano po hinaharap ng gobyerno ang hamon na ito?
Basahin mo na yung last two questions mo, if you don't mind, Seka. Basahin mo na lahat ng questions para mabilisan ang sagot, please.
Opo, tanong naman po kay Bella Carriazo, yung pong assistance sa SMEs, marami pong nagtatanong kasi by the time po na naging effective yung application, meron pang nagagamit na vacation at sick leave ang mga empleyado. Pero kung ubos na po ang mga leave na pasok na po ba sa ayuda ng gobyerno ang mga empleyado? Kung pinaka-cancel po yung application, pwede po ba ito na ma-reconsider?
Sige, both questions po si Secretary Berlio.
Kapag naubos na po yung leave benefits, wala na tayo talagang magagawa. Wala na tayong magagawa dyan, ano? Pero doon ko naman sa subsidy, yung binanggit ko kanina sa iyo, yung sa SMSE business establishment, we are studying and in fact we are recommending yung cash subsidy of 25% to 50% to employers, provided that they retain their employees and add additional 20 to 30% of their workforce. That will generate additional employment.
Yung unang tanong po, ano yung impact ng mga pagsasara ng mga not just small, medium, but even big businesses?
So far, yung aming record will show that because of 20% adopting yung flexible work arrangement and 80% temporary closing their businesses, ay nagkaroon ng displacement of about 2.7 million workers natin. Pero hopefully yung nag-temporary close, they will start reoperating as soon as mawala itong COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Secretary Rebelio. Sa ngalan po ng ating Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ito po inyong spokesman Harry Roque nagsasabi, mag-ingat and stay healthy. Magandang hapon po.